Good evening, and welcome to this edition of Month in Review. I'm Petty Officer Scott Bork, and in tonight's newscast, we're going to recap the top stories from Sasebo and Yokosuka for the month of September. Our top story tonight: it's hard to believe that it's been 11 years since the terrorist attacks of September 11th. Petty Officer Chris Henry tells us about the 9/11 Remembrance Ceremony at Fleet Activities Yokosuka.
Across the nation and at Fleet Activities Yokosuka, September 11th was a day of remembrance.
This was an attack on our community, on our country, and we're never going to forget. This is not going to divide us. Instead, it's going to unite us, and not just as a nation, but as the world.
Naval Criminal Investigative Service Special Agent John Freeman spoke about how America is safer now following the events of September 11th, 2001.
We are much better at information sharing now. We're much better at collaborating between organizations at every level. Nobody has to go it alone. You shouldn't be trying to go it alone, whether on an individual level or collectively as a large organization. We all can work together, develop partnerships, and affect solid relationships that allow us to succeed.
The ceremony was dedicated to the thousands of lives lost on September 11th and to the commitment of a safer nation and a stronger world united against terrorism. Petty Officer Chris Henry, Yokosuka Naval Base, Japan.
Promotions are an important part of any career, and the Navy is no different. Petty Officer Tony DeFilippo shows us how sailors in Sasebo are given the opportunity to move up to the next rank.
Every March and September, sailors around the world file into conference rooms and mess decks to find their advancement exams ready and waiting for them. But how does it all come together?
We got here around 06 in the morning. The exams were in the vault, in the office, so we went to the office and picked it up, and then we brought it over here with all the other materials.
This is really just the end of the road, because the process started well before this morning.
The preparation for the advancement examination starts upon receiving the actual message from Pensacola. That's about 2 months ago. We're making sure all the exams for all eligible candidates are being ordered.
Now, open the clear plastic examination envelope and remove the examination movement.
This morning is actually one of the easy parts already because we have everything laid out. We prepared way in advance.
Besides ordering the exams, these sailors spend those months making sure everything is set in place for every sailor taking the test.
We have to make sure that any personnel qualified and is eligible to take the test will be given an exam, making sure that we put the correct evals or awards that needs to be in there for the member. It's one of the busiest time.
The personnel specialists take pride in the role they play in so many sailors' careers.
I will feel much better if a lot of people get advanced. That's how I would say that it's very rewarding for us that more advancement, more rewarding for PSD, more rewarding for command.
Thanks to the behind-the-scenes work of these sailors, other sailors can continue pushing forward in their careers. Petty Officer Tony DeFilippo, Fleet Activities Sasebo, Japan.
While CFAS sailors were taking their advancement exams, another group of sailors was hard at work preparing for another advancement milestone. Petty Officer Chris Henry takes us to the day these sailors have been dreaming of for a very long time.
44 sailors received their gold anchors and combination covers for the first time during the chief pinning ceremony at Commander Fleet Activities Yokosuka.
It's a huge step in one's life. It's a monumental tradition of 119 years of effort, tried, tested, and that's what we look for when we want to bring someone into the mess.
Finishing with their 6-week induction process, the new chiefs now share the pride and tradition that comes with a coveted khaki uniform.
It's a great feeling. It's almost beyond words. We faced a lot of challenges throughout the course of these last 6 weeks and in our careers leading up to this moment. Getting pinned and getting covered is a great honor today.
As the Navy's newest leaders, the chiefs will carry on the tradition of shaping new leaders from their junior sailors. Petty Officer Chris Henry, Yokosuka Naval Base, Japan.
The firemen, explosive ordnance disposal team, military working dogs, CFAS security, and E.J. King High School faculty all teamed up to do an emergency safety drill. Seaman Che Rose went to the campus for the field training exercise.
Evacuate the buildings. Evacuate the buildings.
Sailors stationed abroad who swear to defend their country carry the extra burden of protecting both their families and the families of their shipmates.
Today we had a bomb threat evacuation from E.J. King School. It was a joint effort with the school's evacuation plan as well as security department's response in coordination with the fire department, emergency services, EOD, and our MWD teams.
We have the kind of exercise that we had here today, just so we know who the players are and everybody's positions, just to make sure that we can work with each other and everybody is on the same page.
For a mission as complex as one provided by a bomb threat, a lot of cooperation was required for everyone to play their part.
Everybody else had their own separate roles in the drill. We had a specific anti-terrorism training member for our military working dogs. Fire department had their own training team lead, so everybody acted in one to get the mission accomplished. The safety of these children, it's a huge responsibility. Situations like this can happen, but I know the proper training that we do is key to our success to make sure we perform our jobs.
These training exercises give sailors the relief of knowing that their families will be safe while they're out on deployment. Seaman Chevros, Fleet Activities, Sasebo, Japan.
As you can see, sailors are busy people, putting the mission before everything else. Petty Officer Michael's story shows us how Yokosuka sailors are making sure they don't forget about maintaining a good diet.
Whether on sea or shore duty, during meal hours, most sailors get what they can as quick as they can and get back to work without putting much thought about what goes into their bodies.
You don't really get the luxury of time to think about that. You kind of just hope they got your best interest in mind.
Y'all want some read material? In part of the Navy Operational Fitness and Fueling Systems Program, or NOFS, members of Yokosuka Navy Fitness are introducing these seafaring men and women to a healthier choice by offering a more nutritious way of eating.
We're just trying to get the word out there, put some information out, let sailors know that the resources available, how to find information, and then answer any questions that folks might have.
So you said six a day? The goal of these healthier options is not to tell sailors what to eat, but how to control the amount and portion size of what they choose to ingest. Petty Officer Michael Story, Yokosuka Naval Base, Japan.
If you've stepped outside lately, you can just sense that fall is here. Let's take a look at our weather and see how many more warm days we'll have before it's time to bring out our sweaters and hoodies.
Here's your 3-day weather forecast and current exchange rate for the Sasebo, Atsugi, and Yokosuka areas.
Our military is a diverse, agile, and all-volunteer force. Petty Officer Derek Allen has the story on a few individuals that are willing to volunteer to serve in a country in which, until recently, they couldn't even vote.
Military personnel and dependents participated in a naturalization ceremony. Naturalization allows individuals that go through the process to have a U.S. citizenship.
It's an honor, and I feel very privileged to come here and do military naturalization for these individuals who have defended our country without the benefit of citizenship.
These soon-to-be citizens, and they have every right to be proud of the accomplishments that brought them in front of us here today.
After joining the Navy, I realized that there was much more to gaining the citizenship than just personal, my personal endeavors. So far, I think this whole movement, has given me more purpose overall.
Petty Officer Derek Allen, Fleet Activities, Sasebo, Japan.
And that does it for this edition of Month in Review. If you missed any portion of this newscast, we'll be posting it to our Facebook tomorrow morning. You can also find us on YouTube at AFN Sasebo, Japan. Tune in next Thursday at the same time for AFN's monthly travel show, Kyushu Explorer, where Petty Officer House and Seaman Marzullo will take you to some local beaches and tell you which ones you should check out. I'm Petty Officer Scott Bork, and from all of us here at AFN, thank you for watching and have a great evening.